I want to spend significant time on this because it is the intellectual peak of the entire deep dive.
The discussion here culminates in what the texts call the absolute fact of nature. The premise is this: Allah's laws cannot be replaced without the invention of a false god.
And they back this up using a specific verse, Surah Fussilat, verse 41.53, which says, "We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth."
Right.
The texts use this verse as an empirical laboratory proof, dividing it into two dimensions: horizons, which they translate as external mechanics, and selves, which they translate as internal logic. Let's break this down meticulously, starting with the external mechanics, the horizons.
The external proof uses a brilliant analogy regarding physics. Think about how a shadow works. A shadow cannot manifest in the physical world on its own. It is an absence of light. Therefore, a shadow absolutely requires a physical object to block the light source.
Wait, let me make sure I follow the mapping of this analogy.
Yeah.
The light is natural law, Dini Fitra Din Islam.
Yes.
What is the shadow?
The shadow is the fake law, a law against nature, like the legalization of riba or the division of humanity through borders. Just as a shadow needs an object to exist, a fake law cannot manifest legally or structurally without an anchor blocking the truth. Passing fake laws against nature requires anchoring a physical country-state flag god idol.
Oh, I see.
You need the physical idol, the flag, the state apparatus to cast the legal shadow. Without the physical object blocking the light, the shadow vanishes instantly.
That makes perfect sense mechanically. You can't have the fake law without the fake idol to authorize it. Now, what about the internal logic, the selves? How does this manifest psychologically inside the human mind?
This connects directly back to the delegation paradox we spent so much time on earlier, because an individual inherently knows they have zero right to legislate against nature. They know they cannot change the speed of light or the moral reality of theft. They know they cannot delegate that right to a politician. 0 plus 0 equals 0.
Right.
So internally, psychologically, humans are forced to invent a fiction to cope with their rebellion.
It's cognitive dissonance on a species-wide level. We know we aren't gods. We know we don't have the authority to alter the fitrat. So we build a false god, the abstract state, and we pretend it has the sovereign authority, and then we pretend it gave us the authority through democracy.
Exactly. You have to invest fake sovereign authority into an inanimate state idol to bypass your own internal psychological knowledge that you lack the right to change the laws of the universe. The internal self requires the illusion just as much as the external horizon requires the shadow.
And this leads to the ultimate verification, the empirical proof that brings everything together. The documents state that this sequence, the country-state flag god idol, leading to the Takhut mouthpiece, leading to the fake law, is a rigid mechanical law of cause and effect.
It is as mechanical as a gear turning another gear.
So here is the explosive conclusion of the text, and I want to make sure I state this clearly. The sources argue that we can run a structural experiment.
A thought experiment, really.
Yeah. If you mechanically subtract the country-state flag god idol, which you achieve via that mathematical separation of the Constitution we talked about, splitting it into part 1 and part 2, isolating the divine law from the administrative law, the entire counterfeit legislative sequence instantly collapses.
It shatters. Remove the anchor and the shadow disappears. Remove the idol and the Takhut loses its voice. It can no longer claim divine jurisdiction. And if the Takhut loses its voice, the fake laws, the riba, the systemic exploitation, the predator elite's wish list lose their imaginary jurisdiction over human life.
And the proof.
Because it is physically, mathematically, and structurally impossible to pass a false law without first inventing a false god to authorize it, this inevitable collapse provides undeniable, empirical, observable proof.
Proof of what?
Proof that Allah exists and that the Quran is the absolute truth, or HAQ. It proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the natural order, Dini Fitra Dini Islam, is the only mathematically and structurally sound operating system for human reality. Anything else mathematically equals 0. Anything else requires a manufactured, idolatrous delusion to sustain itself.